Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Litter Media Live. I'm Mike Smith, along with Aaron Glandon. Dan Ramey is on assignment later tonight with the Litter Media Radio Game of the Week, which we'll talk about here near the end of the show on our sports section. But great to have you along with us. A busy day today.
It is a busy day.
The show this morning, an event coming up this afternoon, which we'll tell you about on our topics here in a couple of minutes, and then football later tonight. But the weather, sunshine today, continuing cool with highs in the mid to upper 60s for a high. There was some frost out there this morning. I don't think we're going to get quite that cold tonight overnight. Looks like lows of maybe, 45? You can see around the camera there, I think, where it got down. I think it was 38 in Frankfort when I woke up this morning.
Chilly.
So we can expect these 60s, maybe 70 by late Sunday afternoon. When we come back, a look at the topics include a big story that's coming up here in Chillicothe later this afternoon on Litter Media Live. Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing, your trusted comfort advisor for more than 4 decades. See that little target there on the end? They used to talk about on target for your needs. Commercial or residential, they can take care of all of these. And full disclosure, I've used all 3 of these climate and moisture segments from their business.
Yes.
I have some moisture problems out here. Come and bring your plumbers, and they've done a great job. We appreciate them. Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. When you see this sign on any of our social media or website stories, click on it. It'll take you right to their social media to tell you more about Accurate Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
At Tomlinson Insurance, we've been protecting families, farms, and businesses since 1853. From auto, home, farm, life, or health, we tailor coverage that fits your world with multiple carriers to meet your insurance needs. Real people, real service, local agents who can answer the phone and care when it matters most. Tomlinson Insurance. Let our history be your future. Call or stop by today.
The Pike County Career and Technology Center provides hands-on, skilled trades training with engaging curriculums and endless possibilities. From automotive technology, carpentry, business management, to culinary arts and interactive media. From electricity, welding, HVAC, engineering, and medical technology, to pre-nursing, basic food service, and public safety. We're preparing our youth for America's workforce through today's technology. To learn more about Pike County CTC, visit pikectc.org.
Whenever I first applied for the ArchWiz opportunity, do I have to pay this back? Do I have to do that? Like, is it a loan? And it's not. It's a scholarship. A goal of mine is to graduate college debt-free. If you're a crew member, you get $2,500 a year, and if you're a manager, you get $3,000. And especially if you're going locally to college, like to the branch or something like that, it's really helpful.
Life. It can get on top of you quickly, can't it? But with 211, it only takes one step to get connected to the help you need. 211 is always available to help. So get in touch today.
Beneficial news that you can use. We hope that you'll go right to our website at littermedia.com each day to find out what's happening in the world around us, especially the good stories. At the top of the news today, Litter Media Live plans to broadcast this afternoon's announcement of the Pixel paper mill selling to U.S. Medical Glove Manufacturing. Now, as you can see the new sign, locally, the company will be known as U.S. Paper Mill Company, LLC. They will be not making rubber gloves. They'll be making the packaging for the rubber gloves. And I think a lot of people are confused. How are you going to turn a paper machine into a rubber glove? No, they're not making gloves. They're going to be making the package. But it's my understanding that U.S. Medical Glove is one of the only one of its kind here in the United States. And with the effort to bring a lot of that production back to domestic instead of overseas, this will be a big deal. The tentative announcement, we believe they'll say something about hiring of 500 employees. Of course, when Pixel closed down, 800 employees were laid off. But the plan is to broadcast this live. The press conference is going to be inside the warehouse, and it's a big metal building, and sometimes cell signals don't do what they're supposed to indoors. We've been told there's a cell signal to do that, so that's the plan. But if we are unable to technically to do it live like we did for the A-plan announcement up at the university, we'll report on it and have information about that after the fact.
Yes. The Fall Festival of Leaves begins next Thursday and runs through Sunday, October 19th. Our Dan Ramey sat down with the Fall Festival of Leaves committee members Bobby Blanton and Dusty Countryman inside the Paxton Theater for a preview of what visitors will expect. From live music, the Queen's Pageant, rides, and some new things like a kids' farmers market run by kids, there's something for everyone at the Fall Festival of Leaves.
So Dusty is really good about getting some new food vendors. He tries to get a lot of food vendors that we don't have the same stuff over and over, you know, wherever you go, there's not 10 pizza places. We try to have a huge variety. And he went out of his way and found something really cool. So I think you need to talk about it.
So it's called, and they actually had a restaurant in Vinton, Ohio, and they've closed down the restaurant and they're a mobile food truck now. And it's called The Wounded Goose Reloaded. And so they do hand-breaded chicken tenders, hand-breaded chicken sandwiches, and they do smash burgers. And they also have a flight of sliders, like the little slider mini hamburgers. And it's one beef, one bison, one venison, and one camel.
Camel, isn't that crazy?
Wow.
So we have a crazy idea what we're going to do on our show.
So we're going to do the flight live on the show blindfolded, so neither one of us know which burger we get.
To determine what it tastes like and what is what.
Right.
Yeah.
Dan will be emceeing the Queen's Pageant next Thursday, and for the first time, Litter Media is planning to provide a live stream of the pageant from the Paxton Theater in Bainbridge. The doors open at 7 p.m. and the pageant will begin at 8 p.m. next Thursday.
Chillicothe's Logan Lyon is the author of a new teen history book. It's called The Ohio Kids, Chillicothe Ghost. Logan appeared on our special edition where he talked about this possibly being the first in a series of history books.
It started back when I was in the 8th grade, actually. We had a county ghostwriting contest in middle school. I won it, by the way. I'll never forget that day. I was sick that morning. But I went in later that day, and the classroom's like, hey, you won the Ross County Ghostwriting Contest. I'm like, you sure? But they said I did, and I'm like, awesome, I won it. Well, fast forward about 2024, about a year and a half ago, I was cleaning out my computer, going through old files. I found this paper, which I forgot about. I'm like, maybe this would make a good book, good children's book.
By the way, Logan will be at a book signing along with some other local authors at the Portsmouth Public Library tomorrow. I believe that is late morning, so check that out. I'm sure if you go to the Portsmouth Public Library website, you'll get more information about it there.
Shawnee State University's spring semester course schedule will include a range of general education course offerings and graduate business courses at the new Chillicothe location. The expansion is the next step in the educational partnership announced in October 2024 between Shawnee State University and Adena Health to meet the growing demand for health professionals in the region. Work is underway to obtain all external approvals necessary to offer degrees for in-demand health professions, including nursing, radiologic technology, as well as graduate-level business at the PACCAR Medical Education Center on Adena's campus in Chillicothe. Science courses necessary for health professions programs are also planned at certain times at the Pigway Ross Career and Technology Center north of Chillicothe.
Rock blasting will begin in October at the site of the Ohio Department of Transportation project on US 33 in Athens and Meigs counties. The 2-lane to 4-lane expansion project has already gotten underway. It did so in the summer and will go through the year 2028. Now, the project expands between Athens and Darwin and 5 Points and Ravenswood. Rock blasting is expected, as we said, to begin this month and will continue for the next couple of years. For the safety of the traveling public, there will be rolling roadblocks on US 33 whenever that blasting is taking place. Remember years ago on the way to the beach, we were in West Virginia when they were still creating the West Virginia Turnpike. And I think they were blasting. Everything comes to a stop. I think we played cards on the roof of our car for about a half hour before we were able to move again. Wow. Hopefully, I don't know that that'll be a problem on 33, but if so, take your deck of cards with you. Our road report, a resurfacing and related work on State Route 159 in Fairfield County. So if you're going to the Circleville-Fairfield Union ball game tonight on 159, beware of this. This is between US 22 and the Pickaway County line. It includes preventative maintenance on bridges within the project limits. Two-way traffic is maintained with a flagging operation for resurfacing. And by the way, all of our road reports from the entire region, you can find that on our website, littermedia.com, and go to road reports in the nav bar up on top, and it'll give you all the information that we give you each day right here on Litter Media Live. Sports is coming up next.
But first, we want to tell you about the Skag clearance sale, which is going on right now. And the prices are so low down there, you're going to think they've lost their minds. Choose from a wide selection of Skag mowing equipment, but you'd better hurry, because once clearance inventory is gone, it's gone, and the low prices with them. Don't let this opportunity pass you by. Do yourself a favor and call Hometown Motors Incorporated at 740-773-8826 for more information. Hometown Motors Incorporated, your store for the great outdoors.
Wherever you are, you're there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch just to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks from your phone. Day or night, wherever you are, or whatever you're doing, download the Kingston National Bank Mobility app today.
Pain was interfering with Tiffany's active lifestyle. Same-day hip replacement at the Adina Orthopedic and Spine Institute got her back to the community she calls home. At Adina, we do what we love, so you can too.
Find a career you love with Pickaway Ross Adult Education. Skilled trades careers are in high demand with no signs of slowing down. Pickaway Ross offers career training programs with expert instructors and hands-on learning tactics to create a variety of opportunities. Visit our website for more information.
Discover Ross County. From the breathtaking outdoor adventures to the historic sights of Chillicothe and family-friendly events and festivals. Explore more at visitchillicotheohio.com or download the free mobile app today. Each week, we'll announce the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Litter Media Player of the Week, presented by Homeland Credit Union. And in December, we'll announce the Player of the Year. Nominate any amateur athlete by visiting littermedia.com and click on Player of the Week. You'll also see the players we've named throughout the year. Make your nomination today for the Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Litter Media Player of the Week, presented by Homeland Credit Union.
And we'll tell you who this week's Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Litter Media Player of the Week, presented by Homeland Credit Union, is in just a moment. But first, we want to tell you about this week's Game of the Week with Dan Ramey and BJ Daly, because Mike Smith, you won't be there tonight.
I'm going to be doing something else, probably producing a post story about what we're covering, and then I'll have the scoreboard for you on site on our website later tonight.
But if you want to hear the action, Circleville at Fairfield Union, coverage begins at 6:50 p.m. tonight. You can go to littermedia.com to find our links to Litter Media Radio to listen, or you can just scan that QR code as it appears on your screen right now.
Before we get to the Haynes Total Healthcare Center School Board, a nice article on Chillicothe native Brandon Knoll, who many of you have already known. He transferred from Wright State to Ohio State University for his last year of men's college basketball eligibility. But there was a nice article in landgrantholyland.com site. We've shared that on our Litter Media Facebook and Twitter, so you can read that article about Brandon Knoll and what his role will be this year with the OSU Buckeyes. Now, taking a look at the Haynes Total Healthcare Center High School scoreboard. Volleyball last night, the Adena Warriors. That's all, folks. And that's what they said to the conference season as they go a perfect 14-0 and win the gold ball for a second year in a row. That was a straight set win last night over Southeastern. It's the 17th time in program history that they have won the gold ball for a perfect season. There's only been one other SVC volleyball team to ever win a gold ball, and that was Unioto. Natalie Stully was coaching that squad. I think that's been 6-7 years ago, something like that. So obviously the Warriors enjoying great success with that. One of the big upsets last night was Westfall knocking off runner-up Unioto in 5 sets. So Westfall getting a big win there. Piketon over Paint Valley in 3. Ditto for Zane Trace over Huntington. In the MSL Buckeye, Logan Elm swept Hamilton Township. A gold ball championship for the Wheelersburg Pirates. They swept Valley last night 3-0. South Webster in 4 over Waverly. Western beat Oak Hill. Alexander wins the TVC championship outright, knocking off Vinton County. They won a share of it Tuesday night against Athens, but they won it outright last night. And in boys soccer, a lot of ties last night. South Webster Unioto, Amanda Bloom Carroll, and New Hope Patriot Prep all tied in their matches. Waverly clobbered Zane Trace 10-0. West Union shut out Piketon. Western over Wellston. And in girls soccer, Chillicothe beat Groveport Madison. Warren edged Unioto. Zane Trace blanked Waverly. Rosecrans over Circleville. And Fayetteville beat Miami Trace by a score of 4-2.
In college football, OSU plays at Illinois tomorrow. That's a big noon kickoff. And OU is going to play Ohio Northern next week. They're off this week, though.
Yeah. Now it's time for the Neil Coleman Insurance Services Wyandotte Mutual Player of the Week, presented by Homeland Credit Union. And this is a fellow that we've seen a few times this year, and he had a big Friday night in that Maple Leaf Trophy win over Paint Valley. Isaac Taylor. He scored 3 touchdowns and rushed for 137 yards, and leading the Huntsmen to that 36-0 win over their arch rival, Paint Valley, the first time that they've beaten them after a 19-game winning streak by the Bearcats. Sorry, Paint Valley, but it had to come to an end sooner or later. When we come back to wrap up this date in history, takes us back to 1971, but it's talking about something that was moved from across the pond that had been there for several hundred years. All that's coming up next on Litter Media Live.
But first, we want to tell you about Litter Quality Propane. Online, all the time. Customer payment, account information, and more. Log on at litterpropane.com.
As a professional race car driver, I live for speed, power, and performance, on and off the track. That's why I use the Dixie Chopper, the world's fastest lawnmower. Race into your local dealership today and test drive a new Dixie Chopper.
Introducing the Petland Litter Media Pet of the Week. We want to put your pet in the spotlight. Pets with paws to pets with fins. If they gallop, crawl, or slither, play fetch, or simply curl up and snuggle. Send us a photo of your pet and we'll announce a new pet each week. And one pet will be crowned Pet of the Year. To nominate your pet, visit littermedia.com. Click on Pet of the Week. Tell us about your pet and be sure to include a photo. Watch Litter Media Live each Thursday for the announcement of the Petland Litter Media Pet of the Week. No purchase necessary. Contest applications must be from Ohio residents and at least 18 years old. Each weekend this October, Sugarloaf Mountain Amphitheater transforms into Haunted Mountain. Try to find your way out of the escape room. Traverse the spine-chilling scares along our haunted trail. And each night at 7:15, the Mothman Experience begins on the main stage with It Flies by Night. Or bring a lawn chair and enjoy a free showing of our scary movie series on our giant projection screen in the parking lot. See our movie schedule and secure your spot for the Mothman Experience at hauntedmountain.org through Halloween night.
The Bean Foundation wants to raise awareness about suicide prevention by sharing 988. Trained crisis counselors are available to talk 24/7, 365 days a year. 988. Save the number. Save a life. To learn more about the Bean Foundation, click on this ad on littermedia.com. All right, a little bit of history, a little bit of edumacation for you to end the show each weekday, this date in history. Do you remember the old nursery rhyme song, London Bridge is Falling Down? Can you sing that rest of it for me?
We probably shouldn't on the show. We probably shouldn't
What's the next lyric, though? London Bridge is falling down.
Falling down, falling down.
London Bridge is falling down. Is it My Fair Lady?
That sounds right.
Yeah. It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Well, this bridge had been around for 600 years. But on this date in 1971, I can remember when they did this, London was done with the bridge. I think they were going to take it down and replace it and do away with it. But the folks in Lake Havasu City, Arizona, i.e. USA, bought it and moved it piece by piece to Arizona, where it is there to this date. Now, London Bridge had been used for 600 years. The bridge still features lampposts made from melted down cannons that were captured by the British from Napoleon's army in 1815. So if you go to London, don't look for London Bridge there. Go to Havasu City, Arizona, and you'll see it. It all happened on this date in 1971.
Do you like my lamppost that I drew?
I do, yes.
Yeah.
That was, a lot of people confuse London Bridge with what is known as Tower Bridge. Tower Bridge is still there. And if you've not seen Tower Bridge, there's, like a bridge will have spires in the middle of it. Well, it's a tower. So that's not London Bridge. That's Tower Bridge. It's still there. But London Bridge is now in Arizona. That's a wrap. Don't forget, we will be covering the 4:30. That's a 4:30 start of the press conference for the announcement of the paper mill in Chillicothe selling to a rubber glove manufacturing company, but it'll be known as U.S. Paper Mill Company, LLC. Not making rubber gloves here, but they're making containers for those rubber gloves.
Yes.
If the signal gets out of the metal building, as it's inside, we'll broadcast it live. So keep watching Litter Media Facebook at about 4:30. If you don't see us, the signal's not going to permit it. But if that happens, we'll record it and we'll post it later on for people to watch.
Yes.
All that ahead today, and Litter Media Radio at 6:50 night with Dan Ramey. Aaron Glandon's on site as well, along with BJ Daly, as Circleville travels to Fairfield Union. Until that time, have a great weekend, everybody. Hope to talk to you later this afternoon on another edition of Litter Media Live.